what's up guys? Rad here, back with another video. Well, today's gonna be part 2 of why my VIP Lexus GS400 is overheating. It's been a couple days now and we got all the parts in. I just picked up my thermostat from Toyota, picked up the thermostat gasket, I got the coolant temperature sensor now, and I just got a compressor so we can use the coolant bleeding tool, and then that way we can get all the air out of the engine, so that way we don't have to sit in idle to see if it's gonna freaking get all the air bubbles out, right? Hopefully after I swap the OEM thermostat and the coolant temperature sensor and then we do the proper bleeding, I'm hoping that the coolant temperature sensor is gonna kick in the fans. That's one of my main concerns right now. Yeah, let's just hope for the best and go from there. Alright, so right now we're draining the coolant. This is the new coolant temperature sensor. As you can see here, this is how it's supposed to look like, not like the other one. So hopefully once we replace this, it will accurately tell the computer what the actual temperature is of the engine, and then that way it will kick on the fans. And if the fans do kick on after replacing this and it gets to normal operating temperature, you don't understand how happy I'm going to be. So this is the new OEM thermostat. Here is the part number if you are looking to order one for yourself. Let's look at the difference here. So at a glance of this thermostat, it totally looks way different to the one that I got aftermarket. Looks like a lot more beefier. I think just like it definitely, like the spring here is a lot like thicker compared to the other one. Hopefully this helps with the whole overheating process, which it should. And then I got the gasket here. I'm gonna just put that on. I've always been skeptical too, because the aftermarket thermostat, when you pop it into the housing, kind of like has a little bit of play, which I thought it was okay, but I feel like that might be an issue. I don't think it should have too much play, but I mean like when I put it in, you can actually like it doesn't hold itself in place. So I think that might be an issue as well. Might be letting air into the system. But we'll see how the new thermostat fits, the OEM one, and then we'll see how fitted the OEM looks. So all right, gasket's all on, nice and secured.
Yeah, rain stop.
All right, so this is the aftermarket thermostat. You can see that totally looks different, not as beefy as the OEM one. Curious to see how the cooling system is gonna run with the OEM one. It should run like smoothly, so let's just pop in the new thermostat and go from there. There. So we got the coolant temperature sensor connected. Damn, this gasket was actually torn. So I didn't notice that from last time. So good thing we replaced it. I hand tightened the coolant temperature sensor as much as I could, just because I don't want to wrench on it because it's sitting on a plastic housing and I don't want to risk cracking it. That way, if I do, then it's going to be expensive because we need another rad. Now that I have the new thermostat installed, the coolant temperature sensor installed, now we're going to suck out all the air from the engine by using the coolant bleeding tool. This is the coolant bleeding tool here. This will create a vacuum in the engine with the compressor. It will suck out all of the air that's in the engine. We'll close the valves off once we reach our 30, I think it's 30 PSI of vacuum pressure. Once we get to that marking, we'll double check the gauge to make sure that there's no internal leaks or just leaks in general. Because if we lose vacuum, then we gotta figure out where the leaks are coming from. So we're gonna do that right now. And then if there's no leaks, after like 5-10 minutes of like just sitting there, with the valves closed, I bought a jug here, big jug that I'm gonna pour in coolant with. We'll connect the siphon tube from the kit, and then it will just feed the coolant directly into the engine with no air. And then after, we'll put the rad cap back on and pretty much just run it again. See how it goes. Just want to give a big thanks to Pete from Fabless Manufacturing for allowing us to borrow this tool to get the job done. So thanks.
Hey, for me.
Thanks, Pete. And for Shonda, because he got overheating issue over there too, you know?
I didn't allow him, Pete.
So this is the setup we have here. That's the tool itself right there. So there's a rubber like coupling that goes into the rad, the top of the rad, and it's supposed to seal, like it's supposed to make it airtight. And then this is the line that's gonna push out air from the engine, and you'll see some fluid come out because not all of the coolant is probably out of the engine yet. So we're gonna connect the compressor air line here. This is the valve to open and close. And then once we connect the compressor line into here, you'll see the gauge start to fill up to hit. I think we had to get it to 30 PSI. That's its max. And then shut off the valve from there. We have pressure building now. That's a good sign. You can hear the air coming out of the tubing.
What's going on?
We were putting the car under pressure and it was dropping vacuum leak like really fast. So we're like trying to figure out like where the hell is the leak coming from. So me, because I was worried about when I was installing the coolant temperature sensor, it cracking the plastic rad. When we put it on vacuum, it was leaking, and I put soap and water and I sprayed the coolant temperature sensor, and that's where it was fizzing. So we knew that that was the culprit to tighten that area. So now that we tightened up the coolant temperature sensor, now it's holding a vacuum, right?
Pressure good.
Pressure's good?
Holding.
Oh yeah, so what is it at right now?
So holding at 27, 28.
That's it.
So we're looking right here. Holding pressure, so we good.
Coolant temperature sensors right there.
No plastic.
And we're spraying soap and water. And at first when I sprayed it, it sounded like bacon sizzling off the pan, you know what I mean? But yeah, so now I tightened it a little bit more, and holding good pressure still?
Yeah. Pressure's still good. So pressure's still good. Now we can move forward. Add the rest of the coolant into there. Put like 6 liters at least.
Well,
I'm telling you, Reddy, you can't fill it twice, man. It has to be like enough in there, or at the end it was just.
No, it'll be good because it came out 3 liters, so now there's 6.
Why you don't make sure? Just gonna do.
We're just gonna do it, yo.
Alright, I'm just saying, bro. You're always not just doing it, just do it.
So now
we're
we're on the refilling spot now. So we're gonna siphon the coolant from the jug using the vacuum that's built up here. That way it'll be full, and put the rad cap on and fire it up and see how it goes.
It held pressure, man.
That's crazy.
You didn't fucking. I can't believe you thought hand tightening that was gonna seal it.
Well, you don't want to crack the rad either.
No, man. Look at how much you have to freaking tighten it, bro. Here, should tighten it. These snugger, snuggy. Ready?
I'm ready whenever.
Open. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's gonna be more, bro. We're only at 15. Man, I'm gonna get an air bubble. Okay, we're at 5. Oh shit. What's supposed to hold it? 4. Damn. Looks like you might be right.
Alright, here's an update. So on the gauge, it's at the 0 markers, so it should be full now. We're gonna take off the system and then put the cap on and fire it up and see how it goes. So we took off the tool, and there is coolant, as you can see, right at the top of the rad. So that's a great sign. I end up adding coolant into the reservoir, as you should, just so it fills up the air pockets so you don't get air in the system. And then we're gonna put the rad cap on, and we're just gonna run it. Actually, maybe I'll run it with the rad cap off for now. It's on the instruction, it says overflow tank should be filled to proper level. Always allow cooling system to warm before attaching radiator cap. Top off cooling system if necessary. So we'll fire it up with the rad cap off, and then we'll just monitor to see how it looks. So we're gonna fire up the car now. All right. Turn up the heat to max. Heater set to the highest temperature. And now we're just gonna sit and wait and let it do its job. I only got 6% battery life on the GoPro, so I'm gonna skip fast forward to this, and then I'll update you guys if everything went smoothly. All right, check in soon. So it's been like 20 minutes. The gauge is still sitting halfway, but it is going a little higher because the fan hasn't kicked on. So we're in the garage right now and there's no moving air, so it's natural for it to get hot. So I think once we can figure out the fan situation, I think this will stay cool for sure. So back to some more diagnosing. So I didn't get a chance to like film this part like during that day of the process because the GoPro died. So we fixed the overheating issue on the GS400. And like, I'm so happy. I wish I could have filmed it the same day, but I'm just doing an update clip now just because, you know, the GoPro is finally charged. But when they say to look at the small things before you do the big stuff, man, that's the biggest like factor of like diagnosing, I would say, for sure. Because so what I forgot about was that there was a fuse panel on the GS just over here, right in front of the battery. I totally forgot about it. I didn't even really notice it because it just blends in. I was watching a couple like other YouTube videos and I seen someone pull the fuse panel on this side, and I was like, oh wait, let me come over and check this out. So obviously you guys may know where I'm leading on to this. So I pull off the fuse cover, looking inside the cover to see what fuses is for what. And we noticed, oh, there's two fan fuses. Of course, I discovered the 30 amp fuses to the fans. Pop them off, look at them, and they're fucking blown. That was like, how could I have missed that? You know what I mean? So I replaced the freaking fuses, fire up the car again, and like within like minutes, the fan kicks on. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. With the rad fan kicking on, it kept the operating temperature at half. It didn't go over at all. I left it running for like 20-25 minutes like afterwards, and it was just still chilling at half. That was like the biggest relief. As you guys know, in all the other previous episodes, this was an issue that I've been chasing on, and it was just a little small fucking fuse that you had to replace to get the fan kicking. But I'm not regretting all the replacement stuff that I've done because, you know, friggin' everything is new and it's gonna be operating well for the next few years. I'm happy. I can't wait to like move forward and start tinkering away with all the other issues that has to get dealt with on this car. And this will be the end of the overheating problem. So now we're gonna move to calibrating the throttle position sensor to get the idles operating normally, and then clear all the check engine lights off the dashboard. So I'm happy about that, and I'm glad to share this this journey and video with you guys about trying to figure out my overheating issue. And if any of this was like helpful, or you know, or something that I've done that you guys missed in the steps that I've took and it helped you guys, then you know, feel free to like this video. And if you guys want to keep following the Lexus GS400 build, subscribe to the channel. This is gonna be the end of this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace out.